The Alliance for Equality of Blind Canadians is pleased to bring you training on a variety of assistive technologies. Please like and subscribe.
Today is Tuesday, May 19th. This is AEB's training session. And today we are going to look at skills for exploring unfamiliar websites. And we are going to focus on using various kinds of screen readers, including JAWS, NVDA, and our iPhones. And I know in this particular session we have one Android user. I think in terms of the iPhone, she may not get as much out of this, so I'm warning others who may have signed in for Android. Probably not this session because we aren't as familiar with it. So having said that, we will start the session, and we've had some questions come in. One of the things, because most of the users on this call are familiar with using AEBC Connect, I think we can start because it, depending on how you open it, if you just read it in your email, you can, on a phone, you can swipe right, and on a computer, you can keep pressing down arrow, and you can read through it that way. And that isn't a bad way to read if you haven't, if you're not familiar with it, and you just want to know every single thing that's there. However, if you are trying to actually find something specific, you might want to look at more, I won't even say I'll say faster ways to do it. So that's kind of what we're going to look at today. And interestingly enough, on your email, at the very top of the note of the each AEB Connect, there is a link that says View in Browser. And if you double tap on a phone or press enter on that link on your computer, it will take you right into a browser. And if this is a good way to start practicing, because it's something you're kind of familiar with using other commands. So, and I'm going to slow down my speech. I don't have screen share on because today we are a bit disorganized in how we didn't have a lot of time to set this up. So I'm slowing my computer down. And we'll try this.
Note the screen reader users. This bulletin can be navigated using heading levels 1, 4 and also by links.
Now, what I had done is I tapped on the view in my browser, and I did it before we came in here, and then I told it to open this particular.
For more detailed link, navigation tips for
we're going to now go and visit, and if you notice, every week it says navigation tips for PC, Mac, and iDevice users. And I'm interested at some point into how many people have actually gone into that link, because that link shows you how to navigate by all these different elements using NVDA, a Mac, a JAWS, or an iDevice. And once we have a very proficient Android presenter, I will add Android navigation as well. But that link is a very useful link to be able to figure out how to navigate the newsletter. I'm not going to navigate the whole newsletter because I do think it's probably something that that you can, because you all receive it, you can play around with it at your leisure. But I will tell you, if I go
This bulletin,
into
click this
this,
link for more detailed link.
I'm going to that link.
Screen reader users out of blank. Table of contents.
Whoop,
Blank
it
screen
didn't
reader
take
users.
me there.
Visit this
Of
link for
course
more
it didn't
detailed link.
take me there.
Navigation tips. Link to list dialog. ABC and navigation tips.
Okay, so what I did is I went to that link, but my computer was being nasty, didn't take me there. So I brought up a links list in the computer using JAWS. It is either insert F7 if you're using a desktop layout. If you're using a uh, laptop, it's caps lock F7. So the F keys at the top of your book or your computer plus the F7 held together, F7 plus caps lock or insert. I believe, and I really want Brian to unmute if I am incorrect. I think it's Control K for the NVDA will bring up a links list. On the iPhone, if what you should do is have links in your rotor, and then you can turn your rotor and find links. And there's a whole section, if you look on AEBC's website, there's a whole section there's a YouTube video on how to put links and headings in your rotor. And it's back a few months, so you'll have to search for it, but it is there. But anyway, I have brought up this navigation in JAWS navigation tips link, and I have choices now. I can actually
Diana,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you have any way of bringing your speaker closer to what we hear?
I might be able to, but if I don't, I will repeat what I say
Okay.
if you can't hear it, because it's really quite
Well, we
close.
can just about. We'll deal with it. It's just,
Whoops. I'm trying to. This was kind of, I didn't know if this would work or not, but we'll
it
see.
almost.
Um, I'm going to press Tab,
Move the link button to activate. Press
That's
spacebar.
better.
Alt+M.
and it says Move to Link. And I did Insert F7. I pressed Tab, and I did, and then it said Move to Link, and I do it once
Activate
more,
link button to
and it
activate.
says
Press spacebar.
Activate
Alt+M.
Link. Now, why I went through this instead of just arrowing through the page, it's very quick. It's like if I'm on the link I want, I could just press enter, and I'm going to press enter on Activate Link.
To activate, press enter.
And I know it went fast. Now I'm going to have to put this down. Settle down, my goodness. Oh, let's see.
Slower. Link graphic AEBC Alliance search but link land site now.
Now, I'm on the AEBC page, and one of the things I'm going to do is go Control Home, get to the top.
Navigating links and headings AEBC National.
It says navigating, so I know I'm on the right page. However, it took me to the top of that page,
Skip to main content.
and this link right below it, which said skip to main content. If you ever see that, whether you swipe right from your phone or you are on a computer website, you press and access that link, because it skips all the, well, it should actually. And if the website's accessible correctly, it will skip all the links.
Navigating links and headings with a screen reader. Navigating headings. Navigate.
Settle.
Heading level 1. Navigating links and headings with a screen reader.
So it said navigating links and headings with a screen reader.
Heading level.
And now I'm just arrowing down. However, I know that's at heading level 1. So if I wanted to, I could skim through any of those headings and the next, or heading level 2, or heading level 3, whatever level I want. And I could read these.
Heading level 3, navigating headings using JAWS.
And they're all.
List of 2 items. 1.
So now it's going to tell me. It's going to tell me this, what I just told you. Press in. This is because it's at heading level 3. So if I wanted to do my headings, I could just skim all of my heading level 3s. Let's see. Alt 3. Whoops.
Navigate.
Whoops.
Heading level 2, heading level 1, navigate.
It jumped me up again. But I can skim by whatever letting. I can do actually insert Z will put my
off.
And then I can have navigating by each of the headings. What that does is turn off your virtual cursor. And I'm not sure how you do it and then I can pick headings by 3, 2, or 1. I don't know how to do it in NVDA, actually. Is there a way, Brian, to skim by just heading level 3s or heading level 1s? Silence is golden. Maybe he's left us. Anyway, we will continue. I heard a noise in the background, but
May I ask a question?
yeah.
What does heading levels mean?
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. If you remember when reading a Braille book, you had headings that were centered, and you had other headings that were the most important information is heading level 1. It's called a hierarchy structure. So the most important headings are always at heading, or they should be, okay? Now, subheadings are heading level 2. And then you can get subheadings are heading level 3. And it's how people code those headings within the website, if they're good. And I do it when I do AEBC Connect. That's why the tech tips is heading level 1, but each of the, if I remember to do it, each of the dates is heading level 2. And then, and then sometimes I will, in the newsletter, I've got the information from partners and friends is heading level 1. Heading level 2 might be CCB. Heading level 3 might be the event that CCB had under partners and friends. So it depends how important it is. So that helps you know where you are.
Okay. Because I just sort of read through, but I never know what these code computer words mean.
Well, they're important, and that's what they mean. That you have techniques to search.
Thank you.
By those
and
headings.
eventually it'll help you to get there faster. But that's all a part of the learning experience.
Mm-hmm. So basically, to summarize so far, what we've learned is when you open a web page, at the very top of the page, if it's accessible, you're going to see a skip to main content close to the top of the page. You want to actually do that, skip to main content, because it gets you past all the banners, all of the, actually, sometimes it's navigation links, sometimes it's other things that you have to look for. But really, if you know you're on the right web page, if you go to skip to main content, you get rid of a lot of the clutter. Then my next tip is to bring up a headings list on and I think in an NVDA it goes into browse mode, and you can just keep pressing H, 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 and go through the headings that way. In JAWS, you can put your headings into the lists with insert F6 or caps lock F6, and then move up and down and go through it that way. Um, yeah, if I do insert, or I can do insert Z and press H, H, H and go through them that way.
And Shift plus H to move back one heading.
Okay, H.
Navigating links and headings with a screen reader heading level 1.
I'm at the
Navigating headings heading level 2.
So it's telling me now we're and what's interesting is the next level 2 heading we come to, and listen to all the level 3 below it.
Navigating headings using JAWS heading level 3.
Because that's under the headings link.
Navigating headings using NVDA heading level 3.
And under that, if I arrow down, if I want to know how to navigate headings in
Open
whoops.
contact us link to activate link podcast.
I skimmed out of there.
The link privacy.
Sorry, I skipped out of there, but I will find it again because it's important to follow this through.
Heading list dialog. Navigating headings using NVDA 3.
Okay, if I want to go there, I will press enter on it.
Heading left.
And now I'll read it. And because what I did is I brought up my links list, because I'm using JAWS, I did insert F6, but it says for NVDA.
While in browse mode, press H to move forward and Shift plus H to move back one heading at a time.
So it's telling me if we go, and I don't know how to get into browse mode with NVDA. I think it does it automatically on a website. Then you just press H, and you can go up and down, or Shift H goes backwards.
Heading level 3 navigating headings on an iDevice.
Now on an iDevice, we're here now. It's still talking about headings, so we haven't changed heading level.
List of 4 items.
And now it told me we're in a list. So if I was on a web page and I wanted to search by lists, I knew there was lists. I could do that as well. But here.
Add settings to your rotor from the settings/accessibility/voiceover/rotor menu.
Okay, so it said go to your headings, add them from your settings, accessibility, voiceover, rotor. So you would have to go there on your iPhone, add them to the list.
Turn the rotor to move to headings when you want to use them.
Turn the rotor when you want to get to the heading you want to use, and then you can swipe right.
Swipe right to move through the headings to the one you want.
And then double tap it. And that's how you would do it. Now, guess what? Next, we're going to get to.
Do a one-click list end. Heading level 3 navigating headings using voiceover on the Mac.
I'm going to skip this because we're not doing Mac today.
List heading level 2 navigating links.
Aha! Now we're back to heading 2. So now we're talking about something different. Navigating by links. So a good web page is going to be set up, and many web pages, they're getting better. They're not perfect, and I'm spending too much time on this, but it helps us to know the different structures of how things are on a page. And if I were you, I would go through your AEBC Connect, and then I would do some of these things and try and navigate it using headings with insert F6, links with insert F7, those are JAWS keys, or add them to your rotor and move to them and go and find them. And on the computer, and well, in browse mode HHH all the way through. Do
Diana,
you have anything to add,
I
Chantel?
do. It's important to remember, I think, that I can almost hear, someone saying, geez, how many things do I have in my rotor? And every time I go to look for something, some of them are going to be in my way. It's important to remember that if whatever page you're on, if there's no links or no headings to be found, those things, then your rotor won't apply them.
No,
Um,
yeah.
so, if you go through your rotor and it says the word links, well, then that that's a possibility on the page that you're on. But where there are no links or there would be no headings or you can't edit or whatever, then the rotor doesn't present those things to you. They're not an option. So that's a good thing to remember. And also, using the ABC Connect today is a great idea because we know that that website is mobile optimized. Not all websites are, unfortunately, and in this day and age, I'm shocked because, or at least they're not totally mobile optimized, because a lot of people use their phones, they're on the go all the time. So it's very surprising to me that people don't think of that when they create a website, but yeah, just to remember that at least ours, our website is accessible.
Yeah. And that's just a good way to practice so that when you go to an unfamiliar site, you think, oh, I could try looking for this, or I could expect to find that. If you might not, as Chantel says, they're not all as accessible, but a lot of them are starting to have skip. It may not say main content, it might say skip to content. Um, and either way, that's a great place to start because it gets you past a lot of other stuff.
You might hear something different when, like for instance, I search a lot of recipes. So I'll receive a newsletter or somebody will send me an email and say they have 5 recipes. I click on one. The one thing that I might be able to see on the very first page is skip to recipe or skip to nutrition content. That way I
Yes.
don't have to go through all the ads and all the other stuff that I didn't go there for. So when you hear the word skip, it might say something different depending on what kind of thing you're searching for. Skip to pattern if you're looking for a knitting pattern or like,
Mhm.
that sort of thing. When it says skip, take advantage of it.
And that's the idea of a context menu. It's different for whatever kind of page you're on. You're going to skip to something, but it might not always say content or whatever, which is what Chantel just said. The other thing about looking for things is we can do a Google search. Now, one of you we're talking about how to find an edit field. Um, you can add forms mode to your rotor, and then you can go to form, and when you flick there, um, uh, it'll show it. On in JAWS, you can do E on a web page, and it'll take you to your first forms mode, or F, E for edit, F for form field, and you can find out from there. And I think it's probably the same in NVDA, but I'm not absolutely certain because it'll find, and then JAWS will say forms mode. But if you want to go right to a form, that's one way to do it, is with E and F, or F on your shush. Okay. So if I'm in AEBC Connect now and I want to go to a different page, if I want to go to Google, I'm going to do um, open my address bar and I'm going to type google.ca because I like using Google, and it's gotten a lot busier lately, but I can, let's see.
Address and search bar.
It said address and search bar edit, and I'm going to
List box explain the
clear. I'm going to delete what's in there.
explain address and search bar edit.
And I
type in text.
Okay, so it said address and search bar, type in text, and I'm going to just type Google. .ca.
Google for search.
Oh, guess what? I forgot I need to fix my boss, so I'm not in computer barrel. Okay. Google E. There we go.
Why?
Hey,
search.
Googly search. That's funny. I was in
search. Why search?
Now get rid of that.
Search bar edit.
Okay, Google.
Control plus L.
Dot. Okay, and it told me even it was Control plus L, which is the key I did to get to my address bar. And now I've typed google.ca. I'm typing on my Braille keyboard and I forgot I was in computer Braille. Ha ha ha.
Address and search bar. Google, Chrome, Diana, and Atelis.net. Google.
Okay, and the little pop told me it put me, and I was in JAWS, right in the search bar. So I could actually search for something here. What shall I search for? Does anybody have an idea? You could unmute and tell me just to make this a little more interesting.
Louise, what were you looking for last night that you had trouble with?
Good idea.
Sorry, I didn't mean to pick on you, but I did.
And I wasn't on ABC website though. I was on another
No,
one.
I'm not
No.
on the AEBC website either. I'm in Google.
Okay, so I'll give you guys some fun.
Okay.
I went to Guide Dogs for the Blind last night, and I was
Mm-hmm.
looking for graduation dates for California
Ah,
campus. I was looking for specifically for California campus graduation dates for Guide Dogs for the Blind. I was specifically looking for one specific one, but I'll just let you. I was looking for the July ones, so I'll even give you the month I was looking for because I know someone might be going to class, and
all
that's why
right.
I was looking.
Okay, yeah. Now, this is interesting because if I just put uh, graduation dates in, I'm not going to get a very good search here. If I include where I want to search, so if I type guide dogs for the blind, um, now I could put July graduation dates, but they might give me them for 26, 25, 24, 23, all the dates. So let's think we want California campus. So I have Guide Dogs for the Blind, California campus, because I know that there are other campuses in you said California, right, Louise?
Yes, I did
Yeah.
because it's
Okay.
California and Oregon, so I wanted the California specifically.
Now, I don't know whether, well, we should. Okay, so now I've got the school, and I've narrowed it to the place. It'll be interesting to see what this brings up. And then I'm going to type July 2020. Oh, I need to put in graduation dates because they don't know what I want. So I'm going to go back to where I've got July, and I'm going to add uh, graduation dates. Oh, maybe it told me it was just, let's see. There. I have graduation, and I'm sorry it went fast again. I'm not sure why, but anyway, it says campus at I will read the whole thing I've put in here. Guide for Dogs for the Blind, California campus graduation dates, date, and I should just have date, not dates, because there's probably only one, maybe two, July 2026. And the reason I put that much information is I'm hoping the search will narrow it down to be as specific as I want to be. So now I'm going to tab, and I don't want to clear it. I'm gonna no. And I went tab to Google search, and I am now. It's opened another page, and it says Guide Dogs for the Blind California Campus graduation dates 2026 is what I searched for. And I'm going to go down my screen, and it says skip to main content right under that Google search. And I'm going to press enter on that. And I'm sorry it went quick again. I will.
Slower.
No. And I went down, and above I know because I've done Google search before. It will have all kinds of AI search, everything else search, and I want to go to my web results. So I arrowed down, and it says main region,
Heading level 2 web results.
web results, and that's where I want to start looking.
Heading level 3 link graduations. Link guide dogs for the blind.
I'm arrowing down because I know I must be really close.
https://www.guidedogs.com single right point and angle quotation mark about.
Well, I think I'm going to go back up.
For the blind. Heading level 3 link graduations.
Okay. Let's see.
About this, read more link.
I'm going to go to that link, graduations, because
about this graduation, Oregon campus, just
nope,
13.
I don't want that.
About this result, link HTTP, link guide dogs for the blind. Link https://www.guidedogs.com single right point and angle quotation mark about.
Well, I skipped it. I hate that.
Heading level 3 link
graduations. And I pressed enter on that. Shush.
Slower. Link apply for service. Link domain.
And now I'm on a new page, and I'm going to go down.
Heading level 2 website navigation. List of 6 items.
I'm going to look for headings again. So I'm going to bring up my headings list.
Heading list dialog. Headings list. Website navigation. Graduations 1. Graduation calendar 2. May 2026 2. Graduation Oregon campus 3. Graduation California campus 3.
Now I'm going down by headings, and you notice I see one that says California campus, and I can go one more and see if it gets more specific.
June 2026 2.
So I can go to June 2026.
Graduation Oregon campus 3. Graduation California campus. Graduation Oregon campus 3. Graduation California campus 3.
And because it's a heading level 3, I suspect that that may still be June, actually. Let's see. Oh, there's July. I see a July at heading level 2. And that means, because remember, June was heading level 2, and then it went to all the 3s for the ones in June.
There's one on May 30th.
Yeah, I skipped that one. Because she was looking for July, right? So
graduation, Oregon campus 3. Graduation, California campus 3.
Now there I found California campus. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to see where it took me.
Graduation, California campus graphic. California, July 18th, 1:30 and 2:30 p.m.
There you go, Louise. July 18th, 1:30 to 2:30 p.m.
Level 3 link graduation, Oregon campus.
And there may have been quicker ways I could have gotten there. I could have done a control F at the top and searched for July rather than looking for headings to see, because control F is find in JAWS. And I could search for July, and it would have taken me to the 1st July, but it might have been a different campus. But that's one way of searching.
No, because that is weird, because it is July 25th for California. But why is the 18th showing there? That's weird.
Well, I don't know. Maybe there's 2.
July 18th, 1:30 and 2:30 p.m. Heading level 3 link graduation, Oregon campus. Heading level 3 link graduation, Oregon campus. Oregon, July 25th, First colon 30 N dash
July 25th is Oregon,
Okay, that's
and July 18th is
California.
California.
Yeah.
yep. Okay. So,
Oh,
but it was the fact that you told me a different way that I never did. I went to the website and was trying to go through and find the graduations. So,
Oh, I
in case,
went to the website too. That's what that's why I went to Google, but it was so specific. I put in a really clear search. And so the clearer you put in, the
yeah.
more specific you're going to get for a response.
See, I
And I
thought,
put,
okay, so I learned something today that I did not realize you could do. So I've always took and done is put the website in, you
mhm,
know. Now I've learned today you can actually do more of a clear search of what you're looking for and on the website, even with that website, which is something I did not realize you could
do
do.
you
So
want
I
to
did
know?
learn something there. So thank
yeah,
you.
you're
You want to
welcome.
know what I put in, and I got to the same results, but just finding things in a different way. I put
Hmm.
graduation dates, um, 2026 GDB. Literally, I wrote
Right.
that, and
Ah.
it took me. What I forgot to say is California campus, but it didn't really matter for me because it shows you all the dates, and it'll say Oregon campus or California underneath. They go like they're really tight together. They don't spread it all out, so it's easy to find. If you forgot to write which campus, or if you want to know both campus, they're well listed one under the other. So
Hmm.
that worked out really well. And I think part of the issue with searching, and like Louise said, she always used to write out the whole website, and then you don't really have to, things have become much more intuitive now. Websites are much more resilient in trying to figure out what you want. You'll get the odd time if it didn't strike a nerve when you wrote whatever it was you wrote, it'll say try to refine your search. Maybe you didn't quite use the right words, or try a different word that might um, be a little more feasible to find. But sometimes you get lucky enough and you learn somehow you kind of learn where you can do that and where you can't. And it's a bit of hit and miss, but don't get discouraged by it, because sometimes you could just ask it for something and you think, oh, it won't find that, and it does. So there are, you know, good and bad ways, not bad, but just very different ways of searching.
I think you can even use Siri to search it
Yep.
for very specific things. I tend not to, but for those of you on your iPhone, but the more specific searches you give her, the better results you're going to get usually. Haha.
Hmm.
Well,
Yep.
I use Siri a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and the searches are often very successful.
Good. Yeah. But the trick is, once you get to the page, look and see if it's got a skip to event to contact or main whatever at the top of that page, and then that gets you through all of that clutter. And since they're at heading level ones, you can often do a um, search with your headings that way, or links. I know. Um, I'm going to put Chantel on the spot, maybe. She was talking about searching for a recipe. And so we were saying the more specific you get, and she was going to search for banana muffins and she had sour cream in her house. So I'm going to see. If she wants to talk about being specific searching. And the other thing I found before I do that is I often go, once I get to the recipe, there's often a link that says printer friendly version. And I like that one because it's way easier to read sometimes. I don't know if you found that, Chantel.
Let me, I'm just looking for,
I really don't care what you search for. I was just using that as an
Okay,
example that
there
we
we
were
go.
talking about yesterday.
Okay, so I wanted to search for a banana muffin recipe, but I know the one I want has sour cream in it. So if I search for
And she's
banana,
on her phone. Yeah.
yeah, I'm using my phone. I search for banana muffin recipe, or I could just say banana muffins using sour cream. And it it brings me to the page that says banana muffins with sour cream, and it'll give me a lot of information at the, at the beginning, but there's a spot that says jump to recipe. So I do that, and you can see, I can see my phone literally scrolling through many pages, because often when you look for a recipe, it wants to tell you what equipment to use. A lot of these websites are affiliated with Amazon, or other places where they get a bit of a kickback for advertising their equipment that they use. Doesn't only have to do with cooking, it could be anything. And so, um, but throughout searching for a recipe, it wants to show you what ingredients you might need and why. So if you want all those tips, then you read all of that. But if all you're looking for is that recipe, you've made it lots of times, jump to recipe, it scrolls all the way down to where the recipe is. And there you are. It's right there. It'll start with the ingredients and away you go. The instructions are underneath, and that's how easy it is. And I find that most sites are optimized that way, that they have a skip to, and that seems to work very well. But I've also been to sites where you literally do have to read through all that stuff, or just kind of skim through it. If I find the line that talks about that's an article, or they may have a YouTube video. And sometimes I don't always look at those. I get really mad when it's a video where the woman is literally measuring her ingredients and she's making the thing, but there's not a word said. So they're absolutely useless to blind people. And I've actually written back to a couple of them to say, I appreciate that you've put a video on there showing us how to, level a cup of flour or whatever, but if you don't speak, it's not anything that a blind person can use. So I'm not sure what else I can say, but let me see how many pages. Okay, so just for example, when I look for banana muffin with sour cream, this one I knew, I found the recipe the other day, and I asked, there was an option that says, can we send it straight to your mailbox? And I said that yes. I just put in my email address and my name, maybe if they ask for my name, and then submit, and they sent me the link straight to my inbox. So now if I want to go look for that, I just hit that link and it'll take me right there. But there's 57 pages here on my phone
Yeah.
about banana muffins with sour cream. So there's more than one recipe, and you just have to figure out which one you want. But sooner or later you get to learn who wrote the recipe, where it comes from, and like, whether it's from a specific baker. And that goes the same for, maybe if you were searching for, where do I buy a bath mat? Wow, be interesting to see how many searches would come back to you where you could possibly buy a
Mm-hmm.
bath mat. It
Yeah.
would be lots, right? So, um, this whole process to me is not perfect, in the sense where a lot of times you'll pick on one thing, you might get some of the information, you pick on something else, and it'll take you right back to that beginning of where you ended up in that circle to search for the same thing. So either there wasn't any more information, or it does kind of get you going round and round. And that is the frustrating part of searching on a website. But it doesn't only, I guess what I'm trying to say is that even though you're a good JAWS user, you're a good user with your phone, you know how to hit all the right keystrokes or how to use your rotor to find what you're looking for. Sometimes it has more to do with the way the website was created and what it allows you to search for and the words that it recognizes. It's not anything to do with how you use your equipment.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
it
I have a
definitely does. Yes, questions.
okay, comment first of all. I don't know how it happens now. I haven't really looked on a website with JAWS since the latest changes, but often on a website when you're using JAWS, when you go to a website, it will tell you at the beginning how many links there are, how many buttons, how many headings, and all of that. And that can be useful to get a general idea of how the website is set out. Also, you don't have to, you can just, if skip to main content link doesn't work, and I find often it doesn't, usually if you hit 1, it'll take you to the heading level 1, and that's often the beginning of the main content. It isn't
Yeah.
always true. TD Bank, that's heading level 1, does not take you anywhere on TD Bank. You end up needing to go looking for buttons on TD Bank. Next question is, if you're using a braille display to try to control your action on a page, what is the control for trying to get the links list or the headings list using the braille display? And then
Uh,
my other question, and then I'll hush and listen to the answers, is um, I have not been able, when I've gone into a headings list on my iPhone, to just look for specific headings. You end up going through all the headings using the phone. Is there a way to differentiate between level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 if you want to look precisely?
I'll answer that one first. I don't think so, but the advantage to getting them in a list is that you miss all the clutter that's between the headings. So you can still skim the headings fairly quickly, and it will say on your phone whether they're level 2 or level 1. And if the setting, if it's set up quite well, then you could, I mean, then the hierarchy works. So if you found which it did on the guide dog site, so we could kind of find what we were looking for by just skimming with the headings. But I haven't found a way. Have you, Chantel, where you can just skim for heading level 3?
This is where I may be a bit different because, and that's, that's my cross to bear. I have some vision and I can see what's on the screen. And right now I'm watching something between where I want to look for the recipe for my muffins and there's a video moving above. There's ads that are moving across the top of my screen. So I just scroll from page to page and I can see where the bold writing is, and that indicates to me that it's a different heading and
Mm-hmm.
different levels. So I am not a good user of that part. So I apologize for that, although
No, don't, because we
it's not
need that.
wrong. I mean,
No.
I use my finger sometimes. What I do is I put my finger at the top of the page and then I just move it down the page and it'll
Mhm.
read me, it skims. It's a good way of skim reading for me. And once I get to the bottom of the page, I do a 3-finger swipe up. I go to the next page and do the same, and I can go real quick
Mhm.
to kind of skim through the different things, and I can hear when the time comes that this is what I want to read. And that's how I've become used to using my phone more so than swiping from right to left as a person with low vision.
Right. Um, okay. And I don't know if anybody else on the call jump in if they know if the phone can do numbers. Like I said, I don't think so. The question about the Braille display, it depends, um, if you are
Um,
using, yeah?
I just came across in my rotor, it'll at least tell me that I visited certain links. So it'll say
Ah,
one visited link. So and I know that it always says that if I've hit on a link that I've visited before, it clicks in my head, gee, that's probably the one I wanted because I've been there before. But if it's a new one, then I'm exploring again, right?
and that's because visited links you've added to your rotor. It's a specific setting. And so if you could flip your rotor
Mm,
to visited links, I think,
yeah.
and then it would just show you links on that page you'd visited. And if it's what that's a perfect example, and it would be,
uh,
yeah,
And I'm going through the headings now, and I'm sorry, it's not telling me whether it's a heading 1, 2, or 3. It just says heading. I
right,
go through
yeah.
all of them. It does not give me any number. Oh, wait a minute.
I thought it
I
did.
lied. It's giving me heading level 2 for a cert.
Yeah.
I think, probably websites are different depending on how they're configured, and it's not going to be a perfect solution for everyone.
No. Mary Ellen, what do you tend to use your computer to navigate and then read your Braille display? And I'm asking this because of your Braille display question.
Okay, I am just beginning to use my Braille display. Um, I really don't use it much on the computer. I'm just beginning to use it on my phone, but I'd like to get more skilled at doing it. So, and I use humanware products if that makes any difference.
Well, it can sometimes, yes, of how you do it. I have two different ones. I have a Focus and I have a Q Braille. And the thing I like about the Q Braille is that I can use all my Windows commands because it has controls for that. And I can then move up and down the screen using the arrows on the display. I don't even have a computer keyboard on my computer anymore, and I use that. Now with the Focus, there is, and I know with the Humanware, there is a specific commands that'll put your headings and links in a list if you don't want to use that work with JAWS. And then you can just use your arrows, and then you can use your cursor routing keys to go to any of those places on your display. And that's the same on your phone. I use my display on the phone all the time. And I usually turn off my speech and use it all the time. And I'm able to navigate really nicely. And with the Humanware display, um, you can use dot 5 and 6 with a space bar, or 2 and 3, and those move through the items in your rotor. And then you use dot 3. Once you find the one you want, you use dot 3 and the space bar, or dot 6 and the space bar, to activate those rotor items. So, and that's universal for all the Braille displays. So 5 and 6 would move you, say if you had words, lines, and links in your rotor, that would move you between those. And then dot 3 and 6 chord with a space bar would move you up and down through the whatever navigation item you were sitting on. Um,
And then you just use a cursor routing key to activate when you find the
yeah,
road setting you
yep,
want.
yep.
Oh, so 5 and 6 moves you forward through the types of rotor settings, and 3 or 6 alone as a chord moves you up or down in the rotor settings you found.
Yep.
Oh, that's so helpful. Thank you very much.
I have a whole list of actually Braille commands that are pretty universal to use with the different devices. Um, I can send those to you at some point, and
Okay.
then you would have them all. Um, Now, I know that it's after 2, so feel free to leave. Anybody got question? Oh, what was your third question? I forget.
I'm not sure I remember. It was oh, how to get to the heading setting if you're using JAWS on your braille display. That was
Right, how to get to it. Um, you, if you're using your computer keyboard, I would do Insert F6. And
right,
that
but
brings, and then if you want to do it on your display,
mhm,
I have to look it up for the Humanware one, I think, because it would be insert, it's the same command, so it would be 5.5 8 and space because that's the insert, and then you would do or 5.8 158 space because that gives you the one is the F chord like F something. The 5 is insert and you have .8 with all of those and space, and then you would press F for 6 and that would give you insert F6. So it's a key combination that would give you that and bring them up.
okay. Thank you.
Any other questions before I know the recording is still on, and this is fine because it's related to headings and links and stuff. Any other web search questions? Okay, I think I'll stop the recording and at this point. So thank you everyone for coming to Navigating Websites, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for checking out our content. To learn more about the Alliance for Equality of Blind Canadians, please visit www.blindcanadians.ca. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe.